And I even said on one message something that was very enlightening to me, that they don't even advertise in black magazines for black women to buy the designer clothes and purses anymore, because they know that they're going to buy them anyway. So they don't even have to advertise to our women. That's their mindset. They know we're going to buy it anyway, not just our women, but men too. We're going to buy designer things. So they don't advertise in our publications. They save those advertising dollars for other publications to encourage these people to buy, but they know we're going to buy anyway. That was interesting when I heard that. So even though we only make up about 14% of America's population, brothers and sisters, it's been reported that we commit 63% of the crime in America. That's the report. I know that's not true. I know it's a lot of our, brothers and sisters incarcerated for whatever reason. And I'm not saying all those reasons are legitimate, but that have to make up these large numbers, 63%. Everybody can't be guilty. Let's put it that way. But see, this is why we have to get ourselves together and start working together, because there's strength and power in unity. As long as we're scattered and don't have any unity, we can't do anything about these numbers. 63% of our young people incarcerated. We can't do anything about it. But if we had the unity, brothers and sisters, we could change a lot of things. That's all I'm saying. So in some categories, we buy 50% of all goods sold in some categories. 50%, brothers and sisters. So we have $1.2 trillion in spending power among ourselves. So it's not that we don't have the money, brothers and sisters, just because you see a lot of our people poor and living in poverty and lacking want. It's not that we don't have the money. We have it collectively. Our problem is that we give it to other people. We make them rich. While, like I said, many of us have been living in poverty, lacking want, while we make other people rich. And like I said earlier, it's nothing wrong with that, as long as we take some of that money and make ourselves prosperous. And we haven't been doing that. We haven't been doing it. And we have this large, huge hair care industry that God has blessed us with. Nobody uses these products but us. Nobody buys these products but us. So let's train ourselves to buy from and sell these products to each other. Let's get some of that wealth, is what I'm saying. Because like I said before, black people in America has the 12th largest economy in the world, brothers and sisters, and the other 11 countries that have more spending power than black Americans are Russia, Canada, Mexico, Brazil, Italy, France, the United Kingdom, that includes England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales, but they're all concluded upon that one name, the United Kingdom. And then you've got Germany, Japan, China, and then the United States, which we're a part of. But the United States has $20.4 trillion in spending power, brothers and sisters. But when you subtract our $1.2 trillion that black Americans alone generate, that leaves the rest of America with $19.2 trillion. And that's still way ahead of any of those other countries. The only one who comes close to America is China with $14 trillion. And then under that is Japan with like $5 trillion. But America is out there head and shoulders above everybody else, brothers and sisters. And that 1.2 trillion that we have among ourselves are the crumbs from the table. Just think about it. And just with the crumbs, we're still richer than most countries out there in the world. We're richer than all the other countries except 11. So once again, brothers and sisters, with $1.2 trillion worth of spending power among black people in America, we have more spending power than Luxembourg, Holland, and Switzerland. And we outrank the 9 richest African countries, brothers and sisters. Now, there are 54 countries in Africa, and we're not going to talk about them because a lot of them are really poor. But the 9 richest are the ones we're going to name here, which are Ghana, Tanzania, Ethiopia, Kenya, Angola, Algeria, Morocco, Egypt, South Africa, and Nigeria. The rest of them, these countries are generating billions of dollars a year in spending power. No one in Africa, no country in Africa reaches the $1 trillion mark. But black Americans have reached the $1 trillion mark. And that really says something for us. And like I said, that's the crumbs from the table from this mighty, powerful nation, wealthy nation that we live in. Now, black Americans have more spending power than the 9 richest Arab countries, brothers and sisters, and many of them produce oil. But they don't make as much money as we do. And these countries are Saudi Arabia. There's oil there, brothers and sisters. The United Arab Emirates. And everybody knows how rich that country is. Qatar, Pakistan, Iran, Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, and Israel. But they're not as rich as black Americans because these people, these countries have yet to reach the $1 trillion mark, and we've already surpassed it. They don't do $1 trillion in spending power there in those countries. They don't have it. Black Americans have more spending power than all the Caribbean and South American countries, brothers and sisters, including the Bahamas, Jamaica, Cuba, Haiti, the Dominican Republic, the U.S. Virgin Islands, Aruba, Barbados, St. Lucia, St. Kitts, Trinidad, Puerto Rico, El Salvador, Guatemala, Panama, Peru, and Venezuela. And Venezuela is an oil-producing country, brothers and sisters, but they can't reach the $1 trillion mark. They haven't reached there yet. So now that we know how much money we're worth as opposed to all the other countries in the world, brothers and sisters, what are we going to do with this knowledge? Are we going to use it to control our own destiny, or continue to live in poverty and keep complaining about what's happening to us? So it's time for us to wake up and start controlling our spending power, brothers and sisters. We've got to control our spending power by buying from, once again, and selling to each other, and putting our money and votes behind the candidates who will speak up for us in Washington. That's another thing. We've got to be intentional with our spending, and we've got to be intentional with our votes. You can't just vote for anybody, and you know they're all going to make promises until they get in office. Black people are not being represented in Washington because we haven't really demanded it. If we could get all of our votes collectively, brothers and sisters, and say we're going to back this person, but what are you going to do for us? Let's find out what they're going to do for us first. And if they don't do it, they don't get our votes anymore. In the same way with our dollars, brothers and sisters. If we go into a store and we're mistreated, like a lot of our people have reported in some of these foreigners and some of these businesses that these foreigners own, if you're mistreated, you don't put your dollars back in there. You don't spend your money there. You have to buy respect, brothers and sisters. If they don't give it to you, you use your almighty dollar to buy the respect that you want. The same with police brutality and discrimination. You use your dollar. The dollar only has power when it's being used for something that benefits you. We've got to wake up and stop just giving it to everybody and not getting anything back from it. So in order to create your own prosperous economy, brothers and sisters, we'll need a steady stream of income to generate financial security. And this is what the Durham Corporation can provide for us. Financial security, brothers and sisters. Because, like I said, Black America is the richest black nation on earth, but because of brainwashing and self-hate that we've had to deal with up until now, we haven't been able to get ourselves out of the deplorable living conditions that many of our people have been forced to live in. But when you look at sports, brothers and sisters, we've all learned to play as a team in every sport. But as a race of people, up until now, we haven't learned to play as a team. And we all know what's being done to us. It's all on the news. Every day, we see what other people do to us, brothers and sisters. They don't respect us because they don't think we respect ourselves. Because every other race of people work together. They unite and they prosper. And so if they don't see us doing that, they think they have a license to disrespect us. So we know what's been done to us. So now it's time to start working as a team, brothers and sisters, and do something about it. Otherwise, these things will just continue to happen. So what I'm asking you to do is join me in my efforts to recreate the prosperous economy that we once had. As a race of black, proud people, brothers and sisters, and that's accomplished by us buying from and selling to each other. And I can't stress that enough because that's the key. That's the magic word with the foreigners who come into our communities and open up stores. Sell. That's the magic word, brothers and sisters. And it's got to be our magic word too. If we're going to take our rightful place, that's got to be our mindset. We've got to sell. It's not hard. But you've got to sell something. You can't just keep pulling from a pile of money that you scrape up from somewhere and give it to other people without replacing money to that pile. And the way you replace the money is by selling. This is the only way for us to survive in the future, brothers and sisters. And this is the only way to prepare a future for our children. Now, another interesting thing that I saw was that 1 out of every 20 Asians or Arabs has a business. 1 out of every 35 whites has a business. 1 out of every 53 Hispanics has a business. And only 1 out of every 105 blacks has a business, brothers and sisters. And business is the foundation of any race's wealth. Because business includes buying and selling. Buying from and selling to. That's what business is all about. And this is why the Durham Corporation wants to set you up in your own small business as distributors of our hair care products. As distributors of a $500 billion industry that's already there. Let's tap into it, brothers and sisters, and I can show you all how to do it. You've got $500 billion to pull from. There's no reason you shouldn't be a millionaire. But it takes steps. So you'll be working for the Durham Corporation, brothers and sisters, and as long as you do your work, you'll continue to be paid just like on any other job. When I say do your work, that means twice a month. Buy your product from your distributor and sell your 2 bottles to the same 2 people, your same 2 customers over and over. That's your job. I don't need you to do anything else. Just do that. So I'm asking you to continue reaching out to friends and family, even after you get your 2 customers, brothers and sisters, at least to tell them about what we're doing. Tell as many people as you know about this opportunity that we have to finally become financially secure. And where many of us will continue to become millionaires. The opportunity is there. It's easier to become a millionaire, like I said before, than it is to get you $1,500. Because when you get in the Millionaires Club, you already have your people lined up. And that's what the work is, lining your people up. So we won't touch the Millionaires Club until you have your people lined up. Amen. That's just how it goes. Now, once again, a portion of our company's profits will be used to help fund our Save Our Sons initiative, and we call it SOS, Save Our Sons. It's a distress signal, brothers and sisters, SOS, because our youth is in distress. They're at risk, is what I'm saying, brothers and sisters. At risk to drugs, gangs, and crime, police brutality. They're at risk. And it's up to us to reach back and help these young people coming along. That's why it's so important that we unite and start creating wealth among ourselves or redirecting the wealth that we already have. So our live broadcast is every Tuesday at the same time, brothers and sisters. And remember, we're coming on 15 minutes later. It's 5 o'clock my time, and in many of you all, it's 7 o'clock. But come on at 7:15. That way we won't have the same problems that we've been having for the last 2 or 3 weeks, not being able to get on because my network told me that there are a lot of people coming on the hour. But if you come on a little later, you won't have the same problem. So our time is going to be 7:15 for you all in the Chicagoland area, and where I am, it'll be 5:15. That's every Tuesday at the same time, and it allows you to ask questions and request your employment forms and more details by emailing us at WEPA, WEPA4U2 at AOL.com. WEPA. We're empowered to prosper in America. That's WEPA. We're empowered to prosper in America. 4U2. That's the number 4, the letter U, and the number 2 at AOL.com. So email us and request your employment forms, your applications, and also you have the opportunity to either email your questions in about anything that you don't understand, brothers and sisters, because understanding is the best thing that we have going here. I want to see all of y'all prosper. So make sure you understand everything we're doing. Because even right now, I have people doing some of the wrong things. They're not sending things in correctly. That's why I send those applications out, because they have all the detailed instructions on that. And it just puts a lot of extra work on us here at the office if everything is not, followed to the letter. I mean, right now, we don't have thousands of people involved at this point, but when we do, it's going to be very critical that you all follow the instructions. And talk to your people that you bring in. Tell them how to do it. Because people are still, doing things that put extra work on us here at the office. It's not that bad right now because we don't have thousands of people yet. But when it gets to that point, it's like we've got thousands of people and I'm trying to write checks out to everybody. Well, we can't do that. We've got to send money electronically from my bank to your bank. So let's keep that in mind also, because all that information is on your form. The many ways you can send your money in through Zelle, PayPal, bank card, Cash App, all those things are done electronically. Even though Zelle is the best way because the money is there immediately and there's no fees with Zelle. So if you don't have a Zelle account, brothers and sisters, I want to encourage you all to get to your bank website and download your Zelle account. And find out, well, it's all on your application, my Zelle information that you'll need to put in. And then I'll be one of your recipients and you'll be one of mine. And when the time comes, we can just send your money back and forth. Okay. Now, another thing I want you to understand, we're talking about sales commissions. They're not tax-free money, brothers and sisters. You have to pay taxes on this money. So a 1099 tax form will be issued at the year's end. Even when you get in the Millionaires Club, you got to pay taxes on that. But don't worry about that either, because I've got a system where you can receive the $1 million over and over and over. So pay your taxes. People who are not making a lot of money, they cheat. You don't need to. Pay your taxes. You don't want any problem, brothers and sisters. I'll make sure you're making enough money. You're earning enough money from working with this company so you can afford to pay your taxes, so you don't need to, to withhold anything. That's just another thing I want to stress. And another thing is that I need you all to contact the person who referred you to this employment opportunity before you fill out your employment form and send it in, because people are sending them in wrong. I'm getting forms with no date of employment on there. Some don't have phone numbers. And some of them are not legible. So please do what you can to make sure everything moves sweet and flows smooth right now, brothers and sisters, because like I said, down the road when we get thousands of people, it's going to be very hard to go back and start correcting stuff. So make sure when you all send things in, everything is legible. Okay, so everybody knows the phone number. We should be on this number, the 425-436-6200. Every week, just come on 15 minutes later, and then we don't have to circumvent and go to another number. The access code is 480-867-pound. Okay, and then we have our recorded call. You can hear the same message, brothers and sisters. If you want somebody to hear everything we talked about today, that's the 436-6202. The access code is the same, 480-867-pound. And that's the recorded call. And they're going to ask you for your access code again, and then you put pound in again. And it'll bring you right to the last broadcast. So if you want anybody to hear what we did today, or if you want to reiterate what we did, the recorded call will be available right after we finish. And also, we've recorded it for YouTube and Facebook, so it'll be a video on YouTube and Facebook, recreating Black Wall Street, and this is part 7. So let's keep that in mind. So that's it for the broadcast today, brothers and sisters. I want you all to unmute your phones and ask any questions that you may have or any comments. If nobody has anything, we'll adjourn for the day.